22 years later, Star Fox gets its official release. Why is this so important? Stay tuned. This is Patrick from Nintendo Talk. Star Fox 2 is a very interesting case because here you have a game that really was never supposed to be released, and you have a fantastically made game, much better than the original Star Fox in pretty much every single way, but simply because of when it was made, this game really could not be released. Now, this game was supposed to be released in 1995, and when you think back at that time, that was kind of the important time when the original PlayStation was coming out, and you also had Nintendo working on their console, the N64. Both consoles super famous and really had a big impact in gaming because those were the consoles that kind of brought 3D gaming to kind of its glory. So Star Fox 2 really could not be released because the PlayStation was already out, so now you have this game that really would be compared to the graphical capabilities of the PlayStation, making Nintendo look like the inferior product. Star Fox 2, though, is a very important piece in the Star Fox timeline. It introduced a lot of cool things. For example, it introduced the R-Wing Walker, something that we didn't see again until Star Fox Zero for the Wii U. And it also introduced Starwolf, which became a very important and popular character in the franchise. He even got a spot on the Super Smash Bros. Roster, and a lot of fans took kindly to him. Star Fox 2 also let you play as 6 playable characters. So you had Star Fox, Falco, Peppy Hare, Slippy Toad, and 2 brand new additions with Faye, who was a white dog, and Miyu, who was a lynx. Now, each of these characters had their own kind of R-Wings and kind of abilities, so, again, this game, in terms of innovation, was really ahead of its time. Now, what was so different about this game is that in the actual hub world, instead of just picking what planet you wanted to go to, you actually controlled your R-Wing, and it was kind of in real time. Think of when you're walking in the grass in the Pokemon franchise, and then randomly a Pokemon will spawn and it will kind of cut to that cutscene. Well, same thing happened here. You would be flying your R-Wing and suddenly you would hit an enemy and it would kind of go into that cutscene and you would then fight the enemy. So it was really cool that it was a mixture of the real-time events and the on-the-rails shooting. It's also interesting the amount of impact that this game actually had on other future games. Miyamoto himself actually estimated that 30% of Star Fox 64 came from Star Fox 2. With ideas such as all-range mode, multiplayer mode, and of course the Starwolf scenarios. Additionally, some programming elements made for the game, such as the camera programs, were actually reused for the development of Super Mario 64. So the engine behind this game actually inspired some of the greatest games that we have today. Now, the importance of this game being released in 2017, you can kind of think of a couple reasons. Now, this is something that Nintendo normally wouldn't do. This is kind of an out-of-the-box thing, and it's really refreshing to see Nintendo kind of listening to fans and kind of what we want. And this is definitely a fan service. Like, they did not need to do this, but it's really refreshing, like I said before, that this is coming out. And I think a lot of fans are excited for this, and I really hope that this gives Nintendo some kind of idea that people still love Star Fox. It's also interesting that an unreleased game got pretty much ported to one of these Classic Edition consoles. So it's kind of exciting to think in the future, like if we do get an N64 Classic, will some unreleased games be ported to that? So this kind of leads you into other discussions and conversations, but it's definitely an interesting mark. And with the success, or you can pretty much predict the success of the SNES Classic, Nintendo, it would be wise of them to kind of release some unreleased games and have them exclusive to these consoles. Now, this wouldn't be good for people looking for these, and definitely the ease of getting these consoles would greatly reduce, but it would be cool to see some of these unreleased games get official releases from Nintendo. So we kind of owe Star Fox 2 a lot. I mean, in terms of innovation in terms of elements that this game brought to other games. This was definitely an important piece of Nintendo's history, and it's really nice to see this game finally see the light of day. Anyway guys, thank you for watching this video. If you like it, give it a like. If you want to see more Nintendo content, please hit subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And like always guys, this is Patrick from Nintendoc. Thank you for watching.